guys, it's B-Scott here. Welcome to another edition of Ride Along. I'm here with Bman and Champ.
What's up, guys?
Shadow Kid.
What's up, guys?
And let's get right into it. Our predictions for this Sunday's Elimination Chamber.
Well, sorry, I know you wanna make this quick, but I actually do have to talk about real quick the rules for the predictions because I had a thing going on. So here's the thing: for Elimination Chamber and Fastlane, we're gonna try and get everybody's predictions. That's the three of us are currently in the car right now: Eli, Trouble, and Bradshaw. For Elimination Chamber this Sunday and Fastlane coming up, and then the two winners get to face off for a prize that everybody gets to participate for it, but only the two winners don't have to chip in for the prize, or the two winners can decide to challenge me at WrestleMania for me to put up my Universal title. So there's that. So we'll see how that plays out, but for right now, yeah, you're right, let's get into the predictions.
Okay, remind me of the matches, because I do have my...
Okay, well, the matches... It's always card subject to change, but for right now, the matches are still... Some of them are still up in the air, because Keith Lee supposedly might be out of the Triple Threat United States title match, so we don't know if Lashley's going to just face Riddle one-on-one, or if he's going to have another opponent that's going to be added, or who knows. And... if you guys saw on Raw, Lacey Evans said apparently she says she's pregnant.
Yeah.
So that means she's likely out of the women's title match against Asuka. So is Asuka even going to defend her title now? Who knows? But the two matches we do know for sure. Well, I guess you say three matches, although one of them is going to be determined by the winner of another match. The three matches we do know are the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber match with Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus versus AJ Styles versus Randy Orton versus McIntyre, Sheamus, AJ Styles, Orton. No, Daniel Bryan's on the SmackDown one. It was The Miz, but he got replaced by Kofi Kingston, which we'll probably talk about a bit later, and Jeff Hardy. So those are the 6 participants. So who wants to go first? Or do you guys just want me to go first?
I guess I'll go first. So, I'll start in freaking random order. I'm gonna pick if the women's title match does happen. I think that Asuka is going to retain for is it the Universal title match?
United States title
match.
Well, the United States title should be a triple threat, but we don't know if.
I'm gonna pick as of right now Keith Lee. I think it's his time.
I don't even know if we don't even know if he's in the match anymore. Yeah,
that's true. And then, which title's on the line in the chamber?
The WWE Championship is on the line, Elimination Chamber. For SmackDown, it's going to be...
Who's in that match against? I have horrible memory, so...
Which match?
The one with the title on the line in the chamber.
WWE title. It's Randy Orton. Drew McIntyre.
Now I do remember it. I'm picking Orton. I think it's his time to shine. And yeah, and then for the SmackDown chamber, I'm picking Kevin Owens. And then who I think will win if they face Reigns. Now, I know this sounds really weird. I think whoever faces Reigns is actually going to lose. I don't think he's going to drop the title until Mania.
Yeah.
So those are my predictions.
And also Edge is supposed to choose who he's going to face after the Elimination Chamber.
Okay.
Do you want to maybe take a prediction on that too, or do you want to leave it?
Yeah, I do. So I think if Orton wins, I think Edge is gonna pick Orton.
Interesting. And as we know, the card's usually not fully completed until the day of the show itself. So we'll have time. I'll allow. I'm not going to be able to watch it live. But what I will do is I will allow anybody who wants to change their picks to do so up until about, say, 6 o'clock on Sunday night.
Okay.
And then the next, obviously, I'll be able to watch the show the next morning. So then we'll know. You guys might already know.
Yeah.
But I won't. So I don't want any spoilers. And then after I watch the show, I'll update on who's winning so far for the
Why don't you
Elimination
update
Chamber.
it on next week's Ride Along?
Yeah, I could do that too.
Yeah, 'cause then we all.
All
right, so I guess, Dougie, do you want to go next for predictions?
So, I'm guessing the women's title match Lacey Evans.
Well, it might not be because she said she's pregnant, supposedly. I don't know if that's just like a thing to get under Charlotte Flair's skin or what's going on with that, but apparently she's out of the match. So we don't even know if Asuka's even defending her title anymore. But you can still make a prediction. But
does hold. I think the women's title's gonna not change hands. Gonna stay the same as where it's at.
With Asuka, okay.
Gonna stay the same with Asuka. Now for the United States title match, I'm going Bobby Lashley on that one because our business is gonna interfere.
Possibly.
Now for the Raw Chamber for the Universal Championship.
It's the WWE Championship.
Well, whatever. The Universal, whatever. But for the Raw Championship, I'm picking Randy Orton for one specific reason because Edge has an old opponent for Orton. And Orton does win, he gets the title shot, or he gets the title, and then it's going to go out WrestleMania and it's Edge versus Orton. I don't think Edge is going to pick SmackDown. Now for the SmackDown Chamber.
Do you want me to tell you who the participants are? Do you know who they?
Sure. Let me...
Okay, so the SmackDown Chamber participants are Sami Zayn, King Corbin, Kevin Owens, Jey Uso, Daniel Bryan, and Cesaro.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? That's actually pretty tough to choose.
Wow, it's a pretty tough decision to pick, but if I had to pick one, if I really had to pick one, I wanted to go with Daniel Bryan, but I don't think he can win. But that's my pick. But I want to see Uso actually win.
That'd be pretty funny.
Okay, I want to see Uso actually win so he can, he has a title on hand.
Right.
Like a major title. Like he's been going after like tag team titles, tag team titles, tag team titles. Like give him a damn, big championship.
Well, that's the thing because Jey Uso, like, if he does win the Chamber, he's apparently immediately afterwards he's going to be facing Roman Reigns.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. That's the thing that I don't get because you see, if Jey Uso wins, he's got to immediately face Reigns. Reigns obviously going to win because, well, Reigns. But
Right.
then if Bryan wins, then there could be a little tough match. Or even if Kevin Owens wins again.
Right, but that's actually kind of a brilliant move by Reigns if you think about it. Because, I mean, like, he pretty much, it's like a brilliant heel move because, like, think about it, like, how much heat would that have generated if you're facing a guy that literally just went through hell in the Elimination Chamber, and then it might not be over, like, right away, but you still got a pretty easy match because the guy, like I said, the guy just went through probably like 40 minutes. Now, granted, the Chamber's not as dangerous as it used to be with all the padding they've added and stuff, but still, like, it can still hurt quite a bit,
Yeah. Well, it also depends on who's. It also depends on the order too. Like you gotta respect on the order. So let's say if.
They'll probably have a gauntlet match on SmackDown too to determine
So
that.
let's just say Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan are the last two members, but they came out first in the chamber. The first to start the match. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Now they're gonna have a tough decision on who's gonna actually beat out Reigns, because now Reigns gonna have an easier opponent. But now let's say if either one of those guys end up coming last out of the chamber and win as quick as they can, then maybe Reigns has a little harder shot saving his title.
That's a very decent possibility to say the least.
Because you never know who's gonna come out. You never know who in what order is coming out.
Right, but even if you did, you have to think about all the variables too. Because what if, let's say you enter last and there's only one guy left standing? Sure, you can have an easier time. Or what if you enter last, but nobody's been eliminated yet? You still got to go through 5 other guys.
Yeah. See.
Granted, they're a little more damaged than you are because you just entered, but still. I'd say that I'd
So
say there's
my official initial pick is Daniel Bryan.
SmackDown Chamber, and then I guess you're picking Reigns to win if his
And
match.
Reigns to win, and then I guess at Mania, I guess he's gonna,
Well, you said Edge is gonna probably face Randy Orton, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So Orton's gonna win the Raw, and Edge is gonna pick Orton as his WrestleMania opponent.
But here's another interesting thing. What about The Miz? Since he took himself out of the Elimination Chamber match, there's a very real possibility he can cash in.
Yeah, he can cash in. Yeah.
He won't. He probably won't hold the title until WrestleMania again, but he could very well cash in. So now for my pick, again, these are all up in the air, but if the Raw Women's Championship does go ahead, if it's not Lacey Evans, then Asuka's going to retain. If it, as far as it looks like, she's not going to be in the match, so Asuka's pretty much a lock for me. But you never know with WWE, they could change it. And if Lacey were in the match, I would pick her because they would probably have her facing Charlotte at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's title. If that were to happen, but since she's not in the match, I'm saying Asuka's going to retain. As for the U.S. title, again, this is another tough one because it was supposed to be a triple threat match, but since it isn't anymore apparently, and again, this could very well change, but either way, I think I was still going to pick Lashley to retain. So my official pick is Lashley. As for the Raw Elimination Chamber, the WWE Championship, I am going to select. This is a tough one. So there's only like two people I can think of who actually don't have a chance of winning that Elimination Chamber. One is the guy you both mentioned, Randy Orton, because it looks like he's still having a feud with The Fiend. If you guys saw, well, you probably did. There was a segment with Alexa Bliss on Raw in the Firefly Funhouse, so it looks like he might still be feuding with The Fiend. So I don't think Orton's winning the Chamber. And the other guy I can think of that probably won't win is Jeff Hardy. I know Daniel's not probably going to like that too much, but that's the way I see it. So out of the 6 guys, 2 guys I'm pretty much certain aren't going to win. As for the remaining 4, it's a toss-up because we could easily see Kofi Mania 2, but that's not very likely. Sheamus could win the title since now we know that he's the last entrant in the Raw Chamber match. So he could probably win and then go on to face Drew McIntyre one-on-one at WrestleMania for the title or even at Fastlane. Drew could retain, and we still get Drew versus Sheamus at either Fastlane or WrestleMania. Or, and this is the guy I'm most likely going to go with, AJ Styles could win the title. Because here's my reasoning behind that is the fact that there are rumors still floating around that Edge is supposed to face AJ Styles at WrestleMania for the title. It's gonna be Edge versus AJ, because AJ was floated as one of the possible opponents for Edge. So it's a very real possibility. And of course, you guys know AJ Styles is my guy. So yeah. As for right now, I'm gonna pick AJ Styles, but I got time to change my pick. For the SmackDown Chamber, I'm gonna say it's a tough one because I don't really want it to happen, but I think it will, and that's Owens gonna win. So that way Reigns can beat him up again because we've already seen it like 3 different times, and then it just furthers the storyline of Owens getting screwed over by Reigns. Because he wins the Chamber and immediately gets into a match with Roman Reigns who beats him like that. So that's a very real possibility. But I think I am going to select as the winner of the match, I think I'm going to go with Daniel Bryan, believe it or not. I think Bryan's going to win the Chamber, and he's going to get that quick match with Reigns that he's going to lose probably right away, and he might get a rematch at Fastlane. And then, of course, I believe Edge is going to pick Roman Reigns as his opponent for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania, because it seems like they've been building towards that a little bit more, especially on SmackDown. I think it was 2 weeks ago when Reigns was like so pissed off that Edge didn't pick him right away. So I think they might go towards that and have Edge challenge Reigns. So that's pretty much, those are my selections. Again, like card subject to change. We could change our picks, but for right now, that's what I'm going with. And then obviously we'll reveal the picks everybody else probably next week and who won and everything. So that's about it for the chamber. Anything on Raw or SmackDown you want to talk about, B-Scott?
Bad Bunny won the 24/7 title.
Oh man,
he's a bad bunny.
Yeah, that was definitely a thing, to say the least.
He's a
Yeah, we all know our truth and everything about that.
Obviously.
I don't know. I think our truth is like one of the better 24/7 teams than anybody. He makes me think of money.
He's definitely made that championship something, all right.
Oh, he did, man. Like, how many times has he been champion? At least 40 times, at least.
Something like that.
Okay, and he's fought in like, okay, the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, he's fought at the Super Bowl. Oh my God, it's hilarious, man. Like he's fought all over the place. Super Bowl, football. He's fought at he's fought there. He's fought at the doctor's office. He's fought at a golf course.
On a plane?
On a plane, yeah. He did on a plane and back. Like, that's pretty cool. But that was pretty hilarious stuff like that.
That was funny. So yeah, I mentioned earlier Raw had a gauntlet match, which Sheamus ended up winning, which I kind of figured he would. So now he's the last entrant in the Raw chamber, and as for the SmackDown chamber, we don't know yet. They're probably gonna have another gauntlet match. So so this was weird. So on SmackDown, right, they initially said Roman Reigns was supposed to defend his Universal Championship inside the chamber, but they're just like, yeah, no, we're not. Reigns doesn't want to do that. But he's contractually obligated to appear at the pay-per-view, but he's not contractually obligated to defend his title inside the chamber. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of...
I think he should defend his title inside the chamber for a reason. Because the Raw chamber is the championship. SmackDown chamber is like, okay, I won. Now I gotta face Reigns. Now I'm all beat up. Now I gotta face Reigns. That's a cheap shot right there. That's cheap.
Again, that is good for heel heat, but yeah, you're right.
It's too cheap. Like, come on. Like, you're gonna have a champion. Defend it where it's defended. Don't defend it on your time.
What I don't get is Adam Pearce, like what's the word? Reigns already done like the worst to him he can do. Why doesn't Pearce just say, okay, you don't want to defend your title in the chamber? That's fine. I'll just strip you of the title. And be like, oh, you can get your title back. You just have to fight in the chamber. And vacate the Universal title and put it on the line inside the chamber itself.
That's what I initially wanted to see. I wanted to see Reigns actually fight in the chamber. But the very these days are like, you know what? Let's have another storyline.
Let's see what else happened. Oh yeah, Seth Rollins came back. He's still doing that whole Messiah shtick. Except now he's like, I'm going to be the leader of SmackDown. Everybody needs to follow me and I'll lead you guys to better days and whatever. And then like he attacks Cesaro. Because like everybody leaves and then Cesaro's the only one that's still standing there, and he's just walking away shaking his head at Seth. And Seth attacked him. So I don't know, they might be starting a Rollins versus Cesaro feud. That's just part of the reason why I didn't pick Cesaro to win the chamber.
So what initially happened? Good question to ask both of you.
I didn't either. I just saw.
I'm the only one who ever watches these things.
So what initially, as far as my perspective, after the Royal Rumble, Carlito faced the guy on Raw.
Yeah, Carlito and Jeff Hardy teamed up to take on Elias and Jackson Riker.
Okay. So
And then Carlito has.
With him.
He's not. He's already done. Apparently, he doesn't want. I think either they don't want him around anymore, or he doesn't want to be there. It was one or the other. I can't remember which.
Like I would I would love to see him go after like the state's title or something, or even the Intercontinental title. Like, you know, stay in WWE for a little while and hold like a minor championship, not like a major.
Speaking of championships, and I'm sorry, I know this might make the ride along go a little bit longer, but I need to ask you guys something. Like, what do you think about, like, I know it didn't end up happening, but there was this discussion about who should be in the SmackDown chamber, and somebody floated Big E's name, right?
Yeah.
And as you guys know, he's the current Intercontinental Champion. But I want to know, and unfortunately we can't get Daniel's opinion on this right now, but I suppose I could ask him later. What do you think about mid-tier champions going after top-tier titles while still being champion? Do you think it devalues the title they already have?
No,
or
it
does
doesn't, because you want to know why. As long as they're still defending the mid-class titles, it's not. Because you see, like, there was a debate for years about the IC title being a lower-class title. And those, quote, mid-card titles back in the 80s and probably the 90s were actually upper-class titles. Every single title was an upper-class title. So I think all titles should be actually treated the same. And then it won't be seen as second class. That's my opinion.
Okay, that's fair.
Because, like, if you go back to the 80s style of wrestling, yes, I know it's a long time ago and things have changed, but but back then, there were great title matches with the U.S. title, with the Intercontinental title. Ricky Steamboat, he used to have 5-star matches, and that was a, quote, second-class title.
Right, but did Ricky Steamboat ever try to go after the WWE title while he was still the Intercontinental Champion?
I don't know, but hey, that's something that could be good, because that makes you a two. That's just like if you won both WWE championships.
Yeah, but look for example.
Brock Lesnar, yeah, I know.
I believe it was Lesnar, and I believe like if I'm not.
But that's why you don't get a part-time champion to win it.
Correct me on this one.
Yeah.
Correct me on this one. I think the Miz had the IC title.
Yes.
I think the Miz had the IC title going after the WWE title.
Yeah.
And
That was
lost
the US. It was the
IC
US.
title, but won the WWE title.
Right, but that's a little bit different because he lost his title before going. But if I'm thinking about what you're saying is when he was Mr. Money in the Bank back in 2010, right?
Yes.
Right. So that's a bit different. See, what I'm saying is, if you're already a champ, if you're already say the IC champion like Big E, but you're basically, I know he didn't say this, but if he were in the match, or if he said, I want to be in that match for the Universal title, would that not devalue his own title a little bit, because it shows like he doesn't care about it as much. He doesn't care about defending it, he only cares about going after a bigger title.
But here's my point, though. Now, this is like if everything was in a real world, like a perfect world. What if he also defended that IC title that night and then was in the chamber? And had a 5-star match.
If he lost it, that would be one thing.
No, but even if he defended it, at least he put on a 5-star show. Because how is that then devaluing the title? If you had if he had a 5-star match, like we're just talking like fantasy, obviously.
Yeah.
But no, because you make a valid point that like a lot of these titles, and this was something that actually Cody Rhodes brought up when actually he left the WWE. The United States title has always been, well, not always, but since the early 2000s, well, like let's say the mid 2000s, it's always been seen as a second-class title, and even since then, it's basically just been seen as an unknown title for a long time. Same with the IC title, and that's why partially he left WWE, because we're not valuing all the titles.
And that's exactly the problem.
So
I've
you
been
make a
thinking
valid
about.
point, B-Man. You really do, and I'm really, really glad that you brought up. Actually, let's have people comment on this video. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, do you think that a guy who is holding I guess you could say a mid-card, well,
now they're called mid-card belts.
yeah.
Let's be real now, because they are mid-card.
Still holding the mid-card title.
Yeah, do you think it devalues those mid-card titles even more? Or does it make him see him in a better light?
That's true.
Now, for example, let's say Big E is in both 2 matches at one night and won both matches.
Then he would have to be in a third match.
Definitely a 5-star match.
Yeah.
You have to be in a third match then, because remember, Roman Reigns isn't defending the title inside the chamber. He's defending it afterwards.
Like I've seen, I don't know. I've seen tag team titles go after the top titles. Like look at Asuka. She was tag team and she had the women's title.
Right, but she was She was Raw Women's Champion first.
And if you want to talk about a devalued title, look at the women's. Belts.
They don't
There's
even
a perfect
exactly.
example. Those used to be classy belts. Now, I don't know.
I almost never cared about
Trish
those.
Stratus. Shout out to Scatterboy, Trish Stratus, and he wants to get some Stratusfaction.
He sure does.
But yeah, that's a perfect example. Another example is the tag team championships for both men and women, Raw and SmackDown. Those freaking titles have been underutilized for years.
Right, because Vince doesn't care about the tag team division.
But if you look back into the 90s and the 80s, yes, I know it's a long time ago, but those were some classy tag teams. The Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov.
Yeah.
The $1 Million Man and whoever, I don't know.
IRS.
Legion of Doom, Axe and Smash, Demolition. The list goes on and on.
Foundation.
The list goes on and on. We need.
Goes on.
You know what the thing is? They need real tag teams nowadays. They need tag teams who actually are best friends in real life, who actually care about each other. Not, hey, let's stick B-Man and Brandon as a tag team.
Yeah, but we're actually friends, though. That's the thing.
Okay.
But now,
No. Okay.
here's the example. Let's stick B-Man and Brandon in a tag team, and they really hate each other. No, I'm only kidding. I don't hate you. And then it's just tag teams.
Well, they did it with Nia and Shayna.
Tag teams need to have chemistry. A lot of these teams are just garbage. It's just this person is now freaking partnered with this person.
And then even then.
Well, now look at freaking back in the day. They had
Lance Cade and freaking Trevor Murdoch. Crime Time. The Hart Dynasty. Legacy.
The Dudleys.
Legacy.
The Dudleys. They are the top major for those titles.
Legacy.
They're like one of the big.
APA.
Yeah, no, WWE nowadays, even if they put a tag team together, even look at Tucker and Otis, Heavy Machinery.
Yeah.
That was they were two buddies, and they split them up. And now what the fuck? Now Otis is hanging around with Chad Gable now, so I guess that's another team, which was kind of I don't know why in the first place. But what the hell is Tucker doing? And they don't got him doing anything. They split up that team for no reason. But that's what WWE does. They split up teams for no reason most of the time. And then they're like, oh, why does nobody care about our tag titles? Well, you don't make us care.
That leads me to a good point. Look at what happened on a Sunday, the Undisputed Era.
Right, but at least the Undisputed Era was together for a long ass time.
Yeah, but
they were really but at least
that
the NXT,
is a real tag team. By the way.
At least the NXT tag team titles are really prestigious.
Well, that's how NXT is. It's better than the real.
Oh, much better. It's been declining a bit lately, but it's still pretty darn.
I haven't watched the full episode in years.
It's still miles better than Raw and SmackDown right now
because there actually are young wrestlers who have been on the independents for years who know what they're doing.
Right.
Anyway,
so to basically wrap this all up, unless anybody's got anything else they want to say about it, I'm of the opinion that if you hold a title, that should be look at our truth.
Yes.
That should be your main focus.
Yes.
like, I get if you want to prove yourself against the top champion, okay, fine, but drop your own title first.
And have your main focus on that title.
Fight for the title you have. Make that seem, and who knows? Like, it might be if you really treat it as important, other people look at it and be like, huh, that title must be really important. That guy really cares about it. He wants to hold on to it at all costs. Other than, oh, that title must not mean much if he doesn't even care. Look, he wants to go after the WWE title or the Universal title. That must be really important. Which, of course, it is, and it should be. But my point is, if you're holding a mid-card title or a mid-tier title, that should be your focus. Your focus should be on improving the prestige of that title, not the other way around. So anyway, those are my thoughts about it. I know we went on a bit longer than we wanted to.
We had a great conversation.
Yeah.
Great conversation about you.
A bit
Let
longer
us
than we wanted
know,
to.
like in the comments, guys, what WWE
Well, not just WWE.
title or titles nowadays you think are underutilized. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah,
And tell us as well how you would make, now this is my favorite part, the WWE great again.
Get rid of Vince McMahon. That's a good start.
Vince McMahon will never leave either.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no kidding. Vince McMahon. There's two. You know what Vince McMahon and the Queen have in common? They'll never fucking die, probably.
Well, actually, Prince Philip is in the hospital today.
Yeah, he's in the hospital, but I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Like, Queen Elizabeth and Vince McMahon, they'll never give up their spot or their throne, whatever, and they'll never die, probably.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys. I think that's about it. It'd be Scott if you want to wrap things up.
I do have to fire in one more thing.
Okay.
Launching this Saturday, I don't know what time, my newest show, One-on-One with B. Scat. My first guest, Scataboy. As I've been telling you guys all week on Facebook, if you guys have any questions for him, comment on the Facebook post. I need those questions in by this Friday at 5 p.m. if you want to ask him any questions. Thank you. Anyways, guys, that's it for now. See you whenever.
Toodles.
Peace.